Hello everyone, welcome to Vinam Guidance. This is Dr. Anuja Sharma, and in this video we'll talk about HPLC or High Performance Liquid Chromatography. So let's get started. But before we move any further in this video, let's talk about your plans as the CSIR NET 2020 answer key is out and you all must be wondering what to do next. Well, Unacademy has the answers to all your questions. Unacademy is organizing a counseling camp for CSIR UGC NET Life Science on 7th December. To answer your questions like whether to opt JRF or LS or GATE, what colleges to aim for, how to start preparing for interviews, join India's top educators from Unacademy and get to know everything about the counseling procedure. Attend the counseling mantra What After CSIR 2020 with Jyoti Kumari and Vijendra Singh at 12 pm on 7th of December. Learn all the tips to crack interviews in India as well as abroad with Deepshikha Goswami at 6 pm and know about career bites after CSIR NET JRF at 7 pm. So click on the link in the description box, register and learn all about the counseling process. Also start your preparation for CSIR NET 2021 early on Unacademy and beat the price hike. Link for the same is also in the description box. Use code CSIR NET to avail a 10% discount on your subscription for Focus CSIR NET June 2021 and Practice Booster for GATE 2021. Again, the link is in the description box. Click it, share it and stay tuned for more updates. So let's get into the video now. HPLC is an analytical technique which is used to separate, identify and quantify different components present in a mixture. Now, this is a type of column chromatography. In fact, it's an advanced version of column chromatography or an improved version of column chromatography. So like any column chromatography, it is an elution chromatography and also the separation in case of HPLC or the purification of your protein of interest in case of HPLC, the mechanism behind it is the same as any other column chromatography or any other kind of chromatography. So two phases are involved, mobile phase and stationary phase is involved, and your difference in the degree of affinity of your molecule of interest or the components of the mixture with both stationary and mobile phase will determine the degree of separation in case of HPLC, just like any other chromatography. Now the separation is based on the polarity of your components or the polarity of stationary phase and polarity of the mobile phase. Now HPLC is a high pressure liquid chromatography. In other chromatographies, the mobile phase is basically allowed to drip through the column using gravity. However, in case of HPLC, high pressure of up to 400 atmosphere can be used to push your mobile phase through the column and into the detector for detection. Now let's talk about the stationary phase and liquid phase which are involved in HPLC. Now when we talk about stationary phase in case of HPLC, the column is packed with modified silica beads. Now these silica beads are porous in nature and they only act as the support material for the actual stationary phase. Now actual stationary phase is basically a liquid which is coated on your support material, which is the silica beads, in the form of a thin film, and this thin film is the actual stationary phase. Now this is done because the stationary phase, which is liquid in case of HPLC, it could be partially soluble in your mobile phase, so it may elute out of the column and this will decrease the life of the column. So for that reason, this liquid, your stationary phase, is coated or is covalently bonded on the silica beads. Now this liquid is basically a organochlorosilane with this formula, and the R group, which is the alkyl group or the substituted alkyl group in case of organochlorosilane, this alkyl group, it determines the final properties of your stationary phase. So it will determine whether your stationary phase is polar in nature or non-polar in nature, and it will determine the polarity index of your stationary phase. So this R group can be polar in nature like cyano, amino and diol group, or it can be non-polar in nature or hydrophobic in nature like C8 or C18 hydrocarbon chain. Now in case of non-polar stationary phase, C18 columns are the most commonly used columns in reverse phase HPLC, which we'll talk about later in the video. Now let's talk about the mobile phase which is used in HPLC. Now for mobile phase, you have endless choices of solvents which can be used as mobile phase. And in case of mobile phases, you can have 1 to 4 mobile phase reservoirs at a time in HPLC. So you have endless combinations of mobile phases depending on the kind of polarity you require, depending on what your choice of component is from the mixture. Your mobile phase can be a mixture of different solvents. The most commonly used mobile phases consist of one polar solvent and another non-polar solvents like aqueous buffer and organic solvents like methanol or acetonitrile. Now other choices of solvents for mobile phases are cyclohexane, N-hexane and carbon tetrachloride. Now depending on the polarity of your stationary phase and mobile phase, HPLC can be of two types: normal phase HPLC and reverse phase HPLC. Now in case of normal phase HPLC, your stationary phase is polar in nature, like a modified silica consisting of cyano-amino-diol groups, and your liquid phase is non-polar in nature, like hexano-methylene chloride or chloroform or diethyl ether, and different combinations of these solvents can be used as long as they are non-polar in nature. And now in case of normal phase chromatography, since your stationary phase is polar and your liquid phase is non-polar, so the elution is done by increasing the polarity of your mobile phase, or the it's mobile phase, not liquid phase. Now in case of reverse phase HPLC, your stationary phase is non-polar, like C18 silica, which is the most common non-polar stationary phase used in reverse phase liquid chromatography, and your mobile phase is polar in nature, like aqueous buffers or a combination of aqueous buffer and methanol and acetonitrile. So in case of reverse phase HPLC, the elution is done by decreasing the polarity of your mobile phase. We'll discuss this in detail when we discuss the instrumentation of HPLC and the different steps involved in HPLC. Now let's talk about the instrumentation of HPLC and various steps involved in HPLC. Now the mobile phase in case of HPLC, as we talked earlier, it can have 1 to 4 reservoirs, and mobile phase is usually a mixture of a polar solvent and a non-polar solvent, and the concentration of these two solvents or more than two solvents depends on the composition of your sample or your protein of interest that you're trying to separate and purify. Now, before the mobile phase is run into the column, the first step is degassing. Now, this is done to remove all the gases which are already present in your chromatograph or in your HPLC system, like oxygen and nitrogen or other particulate matters like dust. Now, degassing can be done using a vacuum pump, or it can also be done using sparging with an inert gas like helium, which is not soluble, or which is very less soluble in your mobile phase. Now, once the degassing is done, your mobile phase is pumped from your reservoirs using 1 or 2 pumps. Now, these pumps have two functions in HPLC system. The first one is to provide a constant flow rate for your mobile phase, and the second one is to generate a constant output pressure, which is used to push the mobile phase through the column and into the detector. So there are two functions of these pumps. There is a mixing chamber in which the mobile phases basically get mixed together and then they are moved into the column. Now, this mixing chamber is present between the HPLC pump and the sample injector. Now, once the mobile phase is run through the column, the next step is the injection of your sample. Now, sample is basically injected using a loop injector because it is not directly injected because of all the pressure that is present in the HPLC system. Now, once the sample is injected, the sample will get mixed with the mobile phase and it will run through the column. Now, depending on different factors like the dimension of your column, the particle size of your stationary phase, your mobile phases, different pressure can be generated. Like a pressure of up to 6,000 psi can be generated depending on these factors. Now, what happens in your column, it will depend on whether you're using a normal phase HPLC or reverse phase HPLC. So let's talk about the normal phase HPLC first. In case of normal phase HPLC, your column is packed with a stationary phase which is polar in nature. So it consists of modified silica beads. which consists of or which has a thin layer of polar solvent, and your mobile phase is non-polar in nature. So in case of normal phase HPLC, when your sample along with the mobile phase moves through the column, since your stationary phase is polar in nature, the polar components of your sample, they will interact with these polar groups of the stationary phase, and they will remain in the column for a longer time as compared to the non-polar components of the mobile phase and non-polar components of your mixture or your sample. So the non-polar components will leave the column first, and the polar components will follow on later. So the elution in case of HPLC, in case of normal phase HPLC, is done by increasing the polarity of your mobile phase. So as you increase the polarity of your mobile phase, the more polar component of your sample will start eluting. So the non-polar will be the first one to elute, and the polar ones will follow in increasing order of their polarity. Now these components, when they leave the column, they'll go through a detector, and on the basis of what kind of detector you're using, like you can use a UV visible spectrophotometer or a fluorescence kind of detector or an electrochemical detector or mass spectrometer. Now depending on the type of detector you're using, the analytes from your column will be detected by the detector, and the signals will be sent to a computer which will convert these signals, this data, into a chromatogram like this. And the individual peaks on a chromatogram, basically they represent different components present in your sample. Now when you see a spike in your graph, when you see a spike in your peak, this means the fraction that is coming out of the column that has your protein of interest, or it has a concentrated and pure form of component from the mixture, and at that particular time, that particular fraction will be collected in a collecting tube, and rest of the part that does not contain any pure or concentrated form of a component, that will go to the waste. If you are running a reverse phase HPLC, your stationary phase, which is packed in the column, is non-polar in nature, like C18 column, and your mobile phase is polar in nature. So in this case of kind of HPLC, when you run your sample through the column, since the stationary phase is non-polar in nature, the non-polar components of your sample, they will remain in the column for a longer time, and the polar components will leave the column immediately. Now in this case, the elution is done by decreasing the polarity of your mobile phase. Now, as you decrease the polarity of your mobile phase, the non-polar components of your sample that are bound to the stationary phase, they will start eluting out along with the mobile phase. And these non-polar components then will be detected by the detector, and similarly as in case of normal phase HPLC, the data will be converted in the form of a chromatogram, and as you see the spike in a peak, that fraction of your elution will be collected in a collecting tube. Now HPLC can be used in the identification and quantification of a compound, and it can also be used for separation and purification of proteins and enzymes. Now besides normal phase HPLC and reverse phase HPLC, which are based on in which the separation is based on the polarity of your component, two other types of HPLC are also used, which are size exclusion HPLC and ion exchange HPLC. In case of size exclusion HPLC, the principle of size exclusion chromatography is used, and in case of ion exchange HPLC, the principle of ion exchange chromatography is used. But these are the two major types of HPLC which are used, and among these, reverse phase HPLC is generally used for purification of proteins. So that's all in this video. I'll see you in the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon for latest updates. Thank you.